At CrossFit Lincoln, our passion is positively impacting and changing lives by creating a strong, brave, healthy community through education. We talk about nutrition, fitness, mindset, and more. From the RoRoFlix studio, I'm Aaron Perkypile with Phil Kniep, Paul Konarski, and Emily Breedy. Hey everybody, it's Aaron Perkypile. Welcome to CrossFit Lincoln Connections. I'm sitting here with Emily Breedy, Coach Emily, Director of Nutrition, Coach Extraordinaire, a pretty good athlete. Why is Levi's like dying over there? I don't know if it's because he thinks it's funny or...
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Levi's taking issue with you as a Director of Nutrition and Coach, I guess, Extraordinaire.
It's fun.
So welcome. We're post-Thanksgiving. How was your holiday?
It was really good.
Yeah, what was your favorite thing that you ate over the holiday?
Probably, I had 2 Thanksgivings in one day.
Wow.
And each place I had a plate
Yeah.
of all of the desserts.
Oh, yeah?
So that was probably my favorite because I don't usually eat desserts at all. And I probably had, like 10 different kinds of things.
Awesome.
So that was fun.
Awesome. What was your favorite? Was there one favorite that stuck out?
Nah, they were all good.
They were all good?
Yeah.
You don't want to give anybody special props over anybody else?
No.
So we were talking about, just before the show started, we were talking about rollerblades. Well, we weren't talking about them. Everybody else was talking about them. Are you a rollerblader? An inline skater?
No, I've done it a
Yeah.
couple times, and it was fun back in the 90s. But but no, I don't really make it an effort. I don't own a pair or anything like that.
Yeah. Do you remember your first pair?
I do.
What color were they?
They had purple stuff on them.
You know what's crazy? Mine did too.
I bet we had the same one.
Probably. So not a rollerblader now.
No.
What do you do now outside of the gym?
Well, if you're referring to like a wheel sport, it's probably bicycling.
Okay.
I like my tires bigger and go
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah.
Safer.
Don't have to exert as much energy to propel yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of bike do you have?
I have a Surly Crosstrek.
Okay. Is that a crossover bike?
Yeah, it's a mix between like a mountain bike and a road bike.
Okay. So I have like a little bit, it doesn't have the slicks, like the tires aren't slicks like a road bike.
No, they're
a
like
little more.
like a mountain bike. Yeah.
They're that thick? Or is it kind of like a in between?
Like in between, yeah,
Okay.
a mix between them if they like had a baby.
Yeah. How many days a week do you ride your bike?
I would say in a year on average, probably 5. Currently, that number is down.
You average 5 days a year that you're riding your
Oh,
bike?
no, 5 days a week.
Oh, okay.
Like over a whole year,
I got
right?
you.
So some months I ride my bike every day.
Right.
Currently, that's not the case. But if you average it all up, then probably like 5 days
Is it
a
weather
week.
dependent or like what you have to do that day?
Yeah, what I have to do. So like I came here, I'm not going to ride my bike here and have time to do that. And so I made sure I drove that day, or if I have like a dentist appointment or something, I drive.
Sure.
So.
Your dentist isn't where you can ride your bike to?
No, it's on O Street. Don't recommend riding your bike on O Street.
Good tip. Well, I'm excited about talking about some different things today. Let's start with this one.
Let's do it.
I find that when I eat, sometimes I eat because I'm bored. Sometimes I eat because I'm sad. Sometimes I eat because I'm angry or lonely or tired or,
Yeah.
how can I combat that? Because I can put some food away. And let's be honest, it's not the best food when I'm put. It's not like I'm eating apples when I'm sad, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so sad, I'm going to have a banana.
That's pretty sad that
Yeah.
you're eating apples when you're sad.
So talk to us about maybe some strategies or what can we do to kind of overcome our eating our emotions?
Yeah, I'll do my best. I honestly think that first of all, everyone's different, and there's not going to be a right answer for anybody. And everybody has emotions, and anyway. So I suggest what I tell my clients is if you're going to emotionally eat, to remove the bad food from your house. So for example, if you down a bunch of chips or a bag of chips when you're, we'll say sad or something, then make sure you don't keep chips at your house. So it's kind of first thing, removing that. So when you are, maybe you're sad or something, and you, instead of eating a bag of chips because you don't have it around, maybe you take a bubble bath or something. You kind of do something else to make you feel better, rather than eating because you don't have that food there.
Okay.
So
What if I still drive to the store and specifically buy a bag of chips? Or ride my bike to the store and get a bag of chips?
yeah. So
Does that negate, like if I rode my bike, does that negate going and buying and eating that whole bag of chips?
no, no. I mean, it's a deeper issue, looking at, why you have that emotion, and addressing it, before, during, and after whatever food you're consuming. A lot of times I talk to people about, after you've eaten that bag of chips and you're not feeling the greatest. One, don't be mad at yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Like, it happens. But start planning for next time to try to avoid that. So yeah, if you're going to emotionally eat, don't add the emotion of regret and failure and shame onto yourself, because you already are dealing with emotions. So try to spin that and be like, all right, I did it. Move on. Tomorrow's a new day. I'm not going to have those chips in the house. I'm not going to drive to the store. A lot of times sometimes they go on their way to their house. They stop by. So for example, on my way home, there's a grocery store right on my way, and I stop there sometimes and get maybe a bag of popcorn or something I shouldn't, right? So I started taking a different route. That way I don't stop there. I don't feel like I need to stop there.
So, how do you talk yourself out of that? I mean, you took a different route. What if it's like, there's my house, and on the corner of my street I have to pass by that gas station. I have to pass by that grocery store. How do you talk yourself out of something like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the tricky part. The idea is that when you're not having these emotions, that you set yourself up for success. So for example, if I consistently practice not driving by the place that I'm going to go and get something bad, we'll say it's a Dairy Queen or something. I have these emotions, I'm driving by Dairy Queen, so I give in and I go there. Hopefully you're not sad all the time, and you're not emotionally feeling like you need to eat, all the time. So it's when you're doing well that you build these habits and set yourself up for success. That way you don't fall as deep, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Have you ever seen clients that they get into kind of that funk where it's a day turns into a week, or turns into a month,
Yeah.
turns into a lifetime? What would be some steps, like early on, that you could get, that you would maybe tell one of your clients, hey, let's start with today? What other tips would you give them?
Yeah, starting with today is a great one, and try not to focus on the past, moving forward. And then talking about just the little things that we can implement each day to prevent them from going down that path again.
So how much would you suggest that someone changes at a time? 'Cause a lot of people have been watching Game Changers, this documentary, and they're like, I've eaten like garbage. I'm only going to eat vegetables and fruit now, which isn't a bad idea. Like, fruits and vegetables are good for you, but it might be really difficult to go wholesale and change everything up overnight.
Yeah, definitely. I think I know you should start super small. If you can do this thing 2 minutes every day, if it takes a little longer than 2 minutes, then it might not work when you get really busy or something. But if it, only takes 2 minutes, you can start when you can do it every single day and build that little habit, and then you can keep adding things onto that. That's a good place to start.
So like on my commute home, if I take a route that's 2 or 3 minutes longer, to avoid those spots that are kind of like, I'm going to just pull in here and get some potato olays, and then I'm going to stop and get a ice cream cone.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a good idea. If it was something where the route home would add 30 minutes or add traffic or there's construction or something like that, eventually you're going to get really upset, and probably just say screw it and go back the other way.
And stop at Dairy Queen for an ice cream cone.
Queen. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So would it be helpful to frame it in a way where if I knew that there was going to be traffic, I would be looking for alternate routes anyway, And so looking at those places that maybe I stop or that kind of pull me in when I'm emotional, when I'm tired, that sort of thing, looking at those as traffic in the way of reaching my kind of nutrition goals and my fitness goals, and trying to find a route around that.
Yeah, I feel like that was a really good analogy that you just made. I probably should write that down. Yeah, essentially, they're roadblocks to you becoming the best version of yourself. And so how do you go around those and remove those?
You kind of mentioned that eating emotionally, that it really comes down to getting a grip on kind of where those emotions have come from. You have any tips for what folks could do, what clients could do, and athletes can do to better identify and like self-identify what's going on and the root cause? Because the eating is just a symptom of what else is going on.
Yeah. I mean, there's many different things. So most of them are outside of my scope of practice.
Sure.
But, I mean, that's one thing, is to have someone to talk about things with, whether it's a partner or a friend or a therapist, to kind of get that out of there. And that way, when you leave that session or that talk, you don't feel obligated to go and eat a bunch of bad food. And also setting yourself up during the day for things that make you feel good. So going to the gym every day is going to be, a physical therapy session, kind of, and that'll help as well.
Okay.
You can just feel better.
Yeah. Are you a podcast listener?
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit?
There's a few podcasts.
What podcast do you like to listen to?
The one that I listen to pretty consistently is our podcast.
CrossFit Lincoln Connections.
Yeah. No, Chasing Excellence.
Ben Bergeron.
Ben Bergeron.
I feel like every guest I've had on, I forgot to ask Abby, but every
I've sent her a couple, so I'm sure she listens to it.
she's listened to them.
Yeah.
Any others that you really like? Maybe just here and there you've listened to because they have guests on that you like, or
a long time ago I used to listen to like Freakonomics and This American Life.
Yeah.
When I had more time to listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
Just about whatever, and now pretty much podcasts I listen to, they're about coaching and helping people. So. Are there any nutrition podcasts you listen to that you know of? I haven't found a good one yet.
Yeah.
I've tried a couple, and sometimes they just talk about themselves, and I'm not a big fan of that.
Oh.
So.
Do we talk about ourselves too much? Hope not.
I try not to.
How about books? You're kind of a reader. I see you carry books around. What are some of your top 3 or 4 books that have been really inspirational to you or great for you?
Well, I'll just stick with the ones I've read recently. I read Atomic Habits. That one's pretty awesome. Just talking about how to form good habits, why we have the habits we do, how to get rid of bad habits, just the whole thing. It's pretty awesome. I like graphic novels, I guess.
Yeah.
I really like getting off CrossFit or whatever. Saga is a pretty good graphic novel.
Okay.
I like it because you can read them quick, and there's words there that I can read, but also it's a nice visual.
Sure.
So.
What do you say when someone sneezes in the same room as you? What's your
I try
first
to avoid those rooms altogether.
but sometimes it just happens, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I say bless you,
Yeah.
because that's what everyone else says.
Yeah. So it happened in the office today.
And like,
it was just reflexive, right? I just bless you. And then I was like, why do I say bless you because I grew up and that's what everybody said, and everybody, other kids seem to say that too. Every once in a while there's Gesundheit.
Yeah, does that mean bless you in a
or
different
salud?
language?
Gesundheit actually means good health or stay well or something like that. And so I looked it up and it said, yeah, because I was like, I don't know why we say this. And it was back in like 500, 590 AD, somewhere in there.
Yeah, the devil is leaving your body.
Yeah. Or they believed that was a way that the evil spirits entered your body. And so saying bless you was like to expulse them.
Yeah.
Another one was when the plague was around, sneezing and coughing was one of those things that was a sign that maybe you had the plague. So people would say, God bless you. So hopefully that would mean that you didn't get the plague.
Yeah, you didn't die.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I don't know why that was important.
Well, I mean, it's regarding the habits.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, let me bring this back around here.
Yeah, appreciate you.
You do something.
You drive for a while.
You do something every day, and you don't even know why. And so one thing, reading Atomic Habits makes you think about, what do I do every day? Why do I do it? Could I do it better? Do I need to do it? Could I replace it with something else that would benefit me in the long run?
Wow.
That kind of thing. So.
Did you find yourself, did you change any habits or like do them better or adjust that? Did that help you kind of get through that?
Well, I'm pretty perfect, but besides that, no, just really the little things that I even tell my clients every day, and I'm like, God, well, maybe I should do that, you know? So I need to drink more water, and I just need to carry a water bottle around, keep it in my face. Same thing with the journaling in the morning and the night, making sure that I take my journal out of my bag and put it on the table. That way I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'll do it. It's just those little things are ridiculously good.
Yeah.
Like, they work. So.
It's simple, but it's not easy kind of thing.
Yeah, because I mean, I still forget. But yeah, just reminding myself of those little things is important.
So kind of tying this back into the emotion thing, do you think that a lot of people have habits and we have ways of responding to things that have just always, that's just kind of been our go-to all the time, right? It could be food, it could be alcohol, it could be whatever, right? We constantly go back to that kind of as a habit. How long does it take to kind of to break that and change that? Do you know?
Yeah, it depends on how deep you are in it.
Yeah.
Right? How old you are, how long you've been doing that habit. So it takes a while, definitely. But little changes, you know, go a long way too. I'm trying to think of, well, also, I was thinking that advertisements are all over the place. Movies, everything shows you that, hey, when you're sad, you eat a pint of ice cream and drink wine. Like, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so they don't really have on the flip side
I've been
of
doing
that.
it wrong all this time.
I haven't. No. You know, so there's in your face, like, that's what you do when you're sad, is you comfort yourself with food.
Sure.
And really that just makes it worse. So that kind of, I mean, I wish TV and things like that would advertise maybe like exercise or maybe a bubble bath. Should start doing that and leave the glass of wine out of it. Or
There's not a lot of money in exercise.
I hope there is.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm sure.
Not to the same extent as selling you Chips Ahoy and, you know, Cheetos.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. Also just around eating in general. There is emotions, right? We eat to celebrate things. We eat to grieve things, to be sad.
Sure.
So food and emotions are tied so much together.
And relationship,
Yeah.
right? Like sitting at a table or sitting with food and conversing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think right now in today's society, we kind of forget what we're actually celebrating and we focus way too much on the food. And so I like to take a step back, like for Thanksgiving, for example, trying not to worry about eating as much as I can, getting everything in, but also having those conversations with people at the table and the family, like the reason you're really there. So it's the same thing if you have a birthday party or something like that. You know, less focus on the cake being perfect and big and from the best cakery or whatever you call it, bakery, I guess, as a bakery.
Cakeatorium.
Yeah, the best cakeatorium, you know, in town, and then focusing maybe on like games you guys can play together and different conversations you can have and focus more on that versus the food.
Yeah.
So.
Taking that pause for whenever we eat something. You talked to me this morning about how you'd set a goal to take 15 minutes to actually eat. Is that every meal or just like the lunch meal?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like actually sitting down, setting aside a specific time that says, now's my time to eat, to enjoy it, to be present while I'm eating so that it's not just mindless. It's not emotionally driven and things like that, or driven by my environment.
Right.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's day one, so we'll see. We'll see how it's going. It's just, you know, when you are on your phone or watching a show or something, you maybe eat faster, you don't chew as well, which is like the first stage of digestion. And then you eat quicker, and then you still think you're hungry, but you're really not, and so you might eat more. And even just if you sat down for 15 minutes and thought about that bag of chips that you're eating, and you thought about it and you didn't mindlessly eat it, I guarantee you wouldn't eat the whole thing. Because you get halfway and you're like, oh, okay, in the trash, and you throw it in the trash.
I think of CrossFitters, they always know, like, what's your Fran time or what's your Diane time? I sad to say that I could probably tell you what my bag of Cheetos time is from back in the day.
Sub 3 minutes.
Yeah. What's your pizza time? What's your large Papa John's pizza time?
Yeah.
So, being able to set parameters around where, to be successful at that dinner time or at lunchtime or breakfast time, where you're saying, one, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to carve out time where I'm actually going to eat, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to gain weight, should I watch a show at the same time so that I'm eating more food?
No. I mean, I don't think. No, I'm just gonna say no. I would say that you need to focus on chewing your food.
Yeah. You're saying that to me specifically, I think.
Yeah, I don't want you to choke.
One thing that we found in our family was when we don't spend a night or two a week at a minimum, because we run around all the time. If we don't spend a night or two a week sitting down together, you go a week or two and it's like, I haven't seen you at all. And you live in the same house and you see each other for 20 minutes at a time at mealtime. And that's a lot of times what it, especially during the week. So it's nice to kind of rekindle that relationship over food in that context and have conversations. And not waiting until Thanksgiving or Christmas or those big dinners to do that, but trying to find a space, 15 or 20 minutes, sitting down together, and it feels like a break.
Yeah, and I mean, the focus of that is spending time with your family.
Right.
It's not eating a bunch of food.
Yeah.
That's bad for you or anything like that.
Or good for you. Either way. Although my son and I's question when we walk in the house to Carrie is, what's for dinner?
Yeah. I don't know. What are you making, Aaron? Do you ever get that answer?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's the answer my dad would get.
Yeah.
My mom. Well, what are you making? Nothing? Well, I guess that's what you're having.
Anything you want to say in closing?
Oh, I don't know. A lot of things probably.
Yeah.
Specific on emotions and eating. Don't add to those emotions. If you sit down at home and you're sad and eat a bag of chips, after that, don't add to that negative emotion. Take that time to turn it around and move on. So.
Okay, I like it. Thanks so much, Emily, for being here.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks for joining us on CrossFit Lincoln Connections. We'll see you next time.